don't you dare bastardize this extreme song. More Than Words is a beautiful ballad, and it's being, no, not these two. Why? Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to The Boys. We're now on to season 3, episode 7, which is called, hold on, wait for it, it's very long. Here Comes a Candle to Light You to Bed. Yeah. Okay, so that one seems a little bit more poetical than the last episode, which is called Herogasm, which was a little too on the nose for my liking. So last episode, we had some big happenings. One of the big ones being that Homelander is very aware of the fact now that Billy is working with Soulja Boy and that they are actively working to take him down. And for the first time, I think in a long time, Homelander got a real fight, one that he almost didn't win. And I don't think he's been in that position probably ever, to be honest. So I think that's rattled him to his core. Not to mention the fact that things at Vought are going down at like hell in a handbasket. So a lot of things are not going right. He really thought that he was at the top of the world a few episodes ago, but now he's starting to realize that this whole thing of trying to run Vought and be the perfect superhero and keep everybody, loving him, is just not working out because he's not equipped for it. And I will not be surprised if we see him really start to devolve over the next couple of episodes, mostly because, again, he's never really had like visceral fear for his life before. He's had fear of being hated. He's had fear of not being liked or loved, but this is a different type of fear, and I'm not sure how he's going to handle it or who he's going to turn to. The other thing we saw is that we might not have A-Train anymore. We saw that at the end of the whole gross situation that was happening at that house. A-Train came up against the same hero that paralyzed his brother, saw that there was no remorse there, and he kind of snapped. He's already been going through a lot. I think that A-Train has been steadily feeling worse and worse since his diagnosis of not being able to run the way that he used to. His identity's falling apart. Now his brother's paralyzed because of his actions. So that was kind of like, I think, his breaking point, and he ended up running at the speed he used to before he was hurt. And we saw the episode end with his heart seemingly stopping. And that's what the doctors told him, is that if he ever did that again, his heart would probably explode. So we might have lost A-Train, which I am bittersweet about because I do like his character, even though he's kind of trash. Like, I don't know. I guess there was a part of me that was kind of hoping he'd have a little bit of a redemption arc. But if he goes out this way, I feel like this is probably one of the better ways for him to go out, because at least he did something that was somewhat not for himself for once, or for Vought. Outside of that, Annie and Huey probably broke up. Maybe they were not on the same page at all about this whole Huey taking the drugs thing and having powers. I do think that Annie's going to stand her ground on this for now, but I do think she'll take him back at some point, especially if he comes with all of his tears and snotty noses about everything. But for now, I do think it's better that they stay apart, honestly, for both of their safety. And we saw that Annie kind of got fed up at the end of the last episode. She said, you know what, Homelander's going to kill me, he's going to kill me, but I'm tired of living in fear. I'm tired of covering for this disgusting company. So she went public and obviously viral, admitting the fact that everything that happened there was a result of the heroes just basically being terrible people, and that she's sick and tired of it. So a lot of things are happening right now, which is just blowing my mind with 2 episodes left in the season. But hey, as I've said with this show, I feel like we don't need any more than what we get, because it's just so overwhelming and traumatizing that if we had a longer season, we probably would all be in the fetal position. So I'm about to jump into this episode, but before I do, that YouTube stuff. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. If you like what you're seeing, if you like my content, I'd appreciate it so much if you hit that thumbs up button. It really just helps for the video to be seen. It helps the algorithm, all that YouTube terms, but it's a real thing. So if it's in your heart to do, I appreciate it so much. And if you want to see more reactions from me, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button and join the fam so you can be notified when I do more reactions. And for those of you who've been here before, thank you so much for coming back as usual. If you haven't joined the fam, please consider doing so today. We're almost at 10K, guys. I know it's so close. I'd love you guys to be part of that journey. All right, enough jibba jabba. Let's get into the episode right about now.
CNN special report.
Not VNN. Gross.
I wonder if Starlight's actions could be considered treason.
Me too.
So is Starlight just
This
hysterical?
cow. I hope she's bald.
Her ties with this woman, a known terrorist with the Shining Light Liberation Army, a notorious human trafficking ring. Connect the dots, Cameron.
If you want to be
What? Why has Kumiko in it? Why Kumiko in it? Leave her alone. That is such a classic move for a certain group of people.
I would say you fucks are overstaying your welcome, but what welcome?
I thought
Right?
you and Soulja Boy were friends.
Why? Because he forced his way into my home?
Right? And because he could kill us?
Come on, Soulja Boy was a hero, right? I mean,
Never.
Storm Normandy.
Yeah.
He's an ass.
Some target practice at Kent State? There were rumors about Dealey Plaza.
Wait, what?
Yeah, and they call them the good old days.
Right?
The thing
Oh
is-
my God, I can't believe you're so dumb, Huey. It's just very reminiscent of Elvis's time in the military too. I don't want to see this. Why? I thought we had enough for like 10 lifetimes yesterday.
3 down and 8 to go. Yeah, and that's gonna take weeks, and weeks that don't go.
Egyptian cotton sheets, and I gotta fucking burn them.
The deal was,
He's like still on the bed.
He's bipolar?
Yeah,
Oh.
Does he take meds for it?
I believe so. At least he did. Girls, it smells like sex and Ben Gay.
It's so interesting too, like that little moment where the difference between, again, Soulja Boy and these guys, right? He's calling him crazy, but nowadays we know that bipolarism is an actual medical condition, and now we actually like have reframed our thinking around it. But very interesting though, how they show how he's trapped in the old school thinking.
hey, doing?
Dying of fire, you asshat.
Butcher and Soldier Boy, where are they?
How the hell would I know? I've been locked up in here.
Is that concealer? Do you have a bruise?
Rub it in!
Butcher has power.
She's so happy. She's like, yes. Is there more bruises? Can I see them all?
Why are you letting me live?
This is a good point.
I would never force myself on you,
Don't believe that.
but I am gonna harvest your eggs.
There it is.
You'll die knowing that the very best of you carries on. With me.
God, this is so triggering considering what is going on in the US right now.
Because today is the day I saw you scared.
Yep. Thank you. Go die. He's gonna go and be so mad about that all day. I don't even know what to tell you, Maeve. I would never, like, the violation of having your genetic tissue stolen from you.
Frenchie, are you high?
Well, that goes without saying.
I'm gonna let Frenchie have it. He's had a rough 48 hours.
So,
Is this guy literally smoking a doob right now?
tries to make eye contact with. Close your eyes.
For what?
Just don't make eye contact.
Dude that has mind in his name. What do you think?
Takes the edge off his PTSD.
Wait, he has PTSD.
Massively.
Gotta keep that cunt dozy as a lamb.
You know he has superheroing, right?
Highly traumatized and heavily self-medicated. Feels good. Feels right.
Shut up, Huey. You signed up.
I mean, what sad bastard self-medicates like that, eh?
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you for reminding. At least Billy has no disillusions as far as how messed up this is. Noir, what's going on, bro? Haven't seen you in a couple episodes. Do I want to know what's going on here? But Soup's always got to assume the worst. Is he high? Or is this some AR weirdness?
You're gonna have to talk about it.
Okay, no, he's hallucinating.
We got you through that erection in the 7th grade. That Hard Rock Cafe massacre in Lagos. And by golly, we'll get you through this too.
I mean, it makes sense. He probably has some coping mechanisms that are weird. It's so, I mean, that's the most insight we've had into his thinking since the flashback.
Your brain's leaking.
Side effects. Better him than you guys. Actually, no, Billy's okay. Huey, maybe not so much, because I don't think Huey's got the invulnerability part. Too late.
Oi,
This might not be a bad thing, though. Maybe Billy needs to deal with a lot of his childhood trauma since it triggers a lot of his bullshit today.
If we grab Mindstorm, we make him help Butcher,
No way.
and then you can kill him. Then you can go to town on him, man. I don't give a fuck.
Hey, if you can act hysterical, I'm gonna slap you like I'm Connery.
Damn! I know someone's been dying to write that line.
Deal's a deal. You help me finish this, I'll kill Homelander. Butcher had given up his life for that in a heartbeat.
He's right about that.
You might want to lay off the weed, huh?
And you might want to gargle my ball sack.
Nope. Can't say that's ever something I thought about doing. He might actually be hearing something, though, because he does have super hearing. Okay, so we're going to have a Billy backstory episode, I guess. They touched on this last season that there's a little bit of transference where Billy's concerned, where Huey's concerned for Billy.
Billy? Leave off him, you cunt.
Yeah, this is a memory.
Fuck
fuck me about?
Men
Where
who
is he?
abuse children are literally the lowest form of humanity. I don't even want to call them humans, honestly, because how can you do that, A, to a child, but also to your own flesh and blood? And also his mom ain't shit either for letting that happen.
Lenny, it's okay.
And like what that would have done to Lenny to see his brother take all that violence in his name. Woo! Abusive parents. There's a special place in hell for y'all. And I like that Billy's finally starting to see the parallels to how he killed Gunn, whatever the guy was in the first episode, but also the way that he treated Ryan.
Oh, wait, hey.
Je sens
Un peu de kétamine.
c'est okay.
Please put the weed out. Thank you. If you're gonna fall asleep.
Bridget, you're a fucking mess.
Well, that makes two of us.
Yep. Just dealing in different messed up ways, but we are both messed up.
Oh, Kirkland. A fine choice.
It
Yeah.
is. I'm telling you, people look down on Costco brand liquor, but it's actually some of the best I've come across and a 10th of the price. Yo, there's a whole panini going on. You can't be sharing drinks like this.
Oh,
Oh, I forgot. Simps don't get sick. Nothing she can do.
he doesn't want to be saved.
Exactly. Oh, finally. Oh, yeah. You can help her.
Know that I can't go to the tower. Even if I could, this would be such a bad idea.
Yeah, I had a feeling she'd want them back.
I won't do it. I'm sorry. I can't.
She felt so helpless. That's why. Oh, did she write a whole novel? Do we not get to see it? I get, though, why she wants to do it. Like, she's never felt truly helpless. I don't think she remembered. Like, I mean, she was kind of in the novelty of it at first, but I knew it would wear off because when you spent your whole life pretty much being invulnerable, when you suddenly are, and more importantly, someone you love is, now it's not exactly so appealing.
Okay? I stormed Normandy. I fought the Nazis.
No, you didn't.
Your whole Marlboro Man act? It's fucking crap. And I...
Yeah, I'm like, why are you talking to this man? Do you think he's reasonable? Remember, you can go nuclear, Huey. You think your little two-minute powers are going to save you from that man? Okay. No, don't y'all. No, don't you dare bastardize this extreme song. More Than Words is a beautiful ballad, and it's being... no, not these two. Why? I will never forgive you for this voice because I like that song, and now this is going to be associated with it.
Okay, hey, I got us this far, didn't I?
No, she got you this far.
Listen, I'm going to talk to you about something. You know that I love you.
Whenever a man starts with that sentence,
So maybe
you want to
it's time we
introduce
branch out.
the sea pets, don't you?
Well, was there anyone you had in mind?
Well, I'd like to.
Not a one. It's in the tank. So gross.
Cassandra, I need this.
I mean, you married him. No, we don't need to see it, guys. Our issue. No, the imagination's enough.
Ambrosia says she wants to taste you.
No, okay,
Yep.
I'm out.
Bye. Glad you got a line.
Okay, it's not an it, it's a her. Get your pronouns right.
God! This show.
You're an idiot, Kevin.
Then why did Dave Eggers say I have a formidable intellect, huh? Formidable intellect!
Go back to your squid, weirdo.
Deep down.
I feel really sorry for Irving. I don't think Irving's been okay since that blast all those years ago. But this is our only insight into Black Noir at all because he doesn't talk. This is what happens in his mind. Okay.
It's a no-go on Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, that.
I mean, Eddie did a better job. Yep, this is the real soldier boy, and he wonders why he got sold. This is why they threw your ass to the Russians.
You're not a movie star. You're not shit. I see you getting out of line again, trying to move on up. I will put you in the fucking ground. Understood?
Wow, it's interesting how they're using cartoons for him to like play out this trauma he's been through. All of them. Him and Homelander cut from the same cloth.
I just hate for you to turn out like him.
And then you did. You did. You turned out exactly like him, Billy. Do you see how? Do you see how these patterns repeat themselves if you don't actually stop and think about it? I just hope through all of this that Billy actually learns something.
You ought to take a page out of his book. You don't want to be a fucking little puff all your life.
Wow. This is why licensing should have to happen for actually breeding, because wow. It's so sad though, the cycle of abuse and how this all like happens. It's tragic, really.
This is Mindstorm's MO. He brainwashed them. That priest was gonna shank us, and she will too. Move!
She's a human being, a nun. And if there's one thing I know...
Wow, the one time he was actually right. I was on the middle of this one, honestly.
Okay, first off, I don't have shell shock. Fuck you. Second, this is what I'm talking about. This is being a soldier.
That one was a hard one because he definitely does have PTSD, but not you crossing Huey. Oh my God. This had nothing to do with God, unfortunately, those poor people. But, you know, they're both bringing up valid points.
We gotta face the truth, people. No matter how ugly it is.
I don't like that man's hand on MM's daughter's shoulder. That's creepy. Oh, yes. Get scared, you little bitch. Look at her. She's like, do I need to pop your head? Do it. I love it. Homelander struggling with fear. This is my best day ever. Please leave the animals alone. They didn't do anything. No, 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 no. No. Okay, I thought he was literally gonna put his mouth on it, but this might be worse. Why do they make everything so wrong? Why do they make everything so wrong? I mean, that's
breakfast, did we?
actually the way you should drink milk, but you should boil it at least. But again, he doesn't get sick.
What I'm proposing is strictly a transactional relationship. You help me out with one small favor, and I help you.
Where did you get this?
Why are there so many notes that we're not allowed to read? Why are they doing this? I want to be able to read these things. I can read. A-Train's alive. But seriously, stop keeping this from us.
Which is why you're gonna love this. Blue Hawk will live on because we gave you his heart. A super able heart. We're gonna get you back in your old suit. We're gonna get you out there ASAP. You're okay talking to
I have thoughts about this, but I'll wait till after the episode.
You're a roughneck gangbanger from the South Side, slanging that yayo.
Oh my God!
We're thinking Tom Hanks teaches you a more civilized way. But the A-Train's back, baby!
Die, Ashley. Bye, Ashley. I have so many thoughts about this, you guys. I have so many thoughts about that, but I can't talk about it over the episode. Hold on. Oh, look at your sciencey brain kicking in, my boy. He figured out the vapors, what took him out, finally.
This. You think I can read this shit? Novichok?
He can speak Russian, but chemistry, not so much.
Motherfucker.
Huh? Qu'est-ce qu'il sait?
Okay, I know you have your thoughts on this, but you're gonna have to talk to your daughter because she's into Soldier Boy or into Homelander too. Oh, will you please dance with your girl? Y'all need at least 1 minute apiece over the days you've had.
No, take him.
Kimiko, he's obsessed with you. Come on now. Obsessed.
Why? This is everything you said you did not want.
She thought.
Listen to me.
She thought.
Humanitarian, you have it. Girl, please. S'il te plaît, don't do this.
I don't think this is as easy as you think it is, Frenchie. Unfortunately, what you guys went through is like a prime example of the fact that Kumiko's life's going to follow her for a while, and her being human is not going to help.
I know I'm asking a lot.
We're going to hear it?
But no, it's my choice.
It's true.
I think that matters.
It does.
I almost lost Frenchie because I couldn't fight.
I knew that was a motivator.
I can risk that again.
Y'all don't just shut up and get married already. Someone who finally loves your completely messed up little behind, Frenchie. Always kudos to this actress to have to do so much without being able to express herself verbally. Especially when you are someone who can speak in real life. It's one thing if she was actually mute. Oh, she's gonna look at the side effects and how Billy's basically dying. Good, good, no, good.
Vogelbaum has a replacement. Just a child, but they're convinced he'll be stronger than Soldier Boy.
Homelander.
Can you please stop eating those in front of me? I'm allergic.
That's such an Edgar thing to do. How much does that suck, actually, to be a soup, but taken down by peanuts? The soldier boy did it to him. Wow, this is one way to tell that story. Damn, and he remembers? That's how much it took.
Motherfucker.
Damn, they hated him.
But we know how sensitive and scared you are.
Yes.
We're here for you.
Thank you for telling us. We had no idea. We just saw him cry one time. That's it. Wow. Now we understand half his brain was gone too. That explains a lot of why he's seeing all this. Just go, my bro. I mean, you're right. You did do something. Can he do anything worse than what he's already done to you? I would just take my mask off, look him straight in the face with the way he looks right now and be like, do your worst, buddy.
Any idea what kind of danger you put my baby girl in?
There's no danger. Starlight is making all that up. Read any news outside the establishment media.
I want to smash his head into a car.
You're not her father.
Someone's got to be.
You're gonna get hit for that and you deserve it.
Marvin! Oh my God, Todd!
Todd.
He has no right to say that shit. I know, I'm sorry, sweetie, you didn't need to see that, but that was out of line. Acting like MM's never been around. Talk to her when you're calmer, but I'm sorry, that was 100% warranted because that man's got way too much mouth. Way too much mouth, and I'm just waiting, like give him 2 more weeks and we know N-bombs will be flying out of that mouth too, because that's his idol right here.
You know what? I could give a shit.
Really? You sure about that? Your fame is the only thing protecting you.
This is true.
I see how small you are. I saw it the night that you killed Supersonic.
You know what I remember from that night?
His face melting.
You walk. That's next.
All right, well.
Now that you've told my 190 million followers.
You're not supposed to record us when we're running lines.
Nice try. See, I would have waited right as the elevator dinged, though, so we wouldn't have time to recover. Listen, the hardcore psychos are going to still believe, but good for Starlight, though. She's starting to get smart. She's making a comeback. I was really worried earlier this season. I'm not going to lie. It's like that meme. You had me in the first half. Damn, every last one of the people from his team have been living in hell. Do his powers work through a mirror? We'll find out.
Just close. They're closed. I'm gonna reach in. I'm gonna grab you some, okay?
Yeah, let's not look at each other's junk, especially since he doesn't look like he's washed ever.
Please wake up my friend.
I've been inside his head. That guy's a piece of shit.
It doesn't matter.
He is.
He's family. Please wake him up.
I'm not moved.
And I will never tell a soul where that is. Hand to God.
You think this man believes in God? He just killed 2 people who are people of God. Meanwhile, poor Billy, still in this nightmare.
Billy, please don't leave me alone with him.
That's unfair. But I understand why he's scared.
Fucking twat. Don't you leave him.
You
Let him go.
don't feel that guilt, though. Like, dude, you don't deserve to take all these beatings.
Don't be such a fucking puff all your life.
God, so much like your dad. But you need to see how much that affected him. This is a very twisted story. I will talk about it after, but like there's empathy on both sides. Like you understand Lenny's fear, but at the same time, this was way too much for Billy to take on at such a young age. You know, it's like that whole plane thing, right? You got to put the mask on yourself before you can help anybody else. And Billy was at the point where he needed help.
Oh, Jesus, please.
Very rare for someone to own a pistol in England back in those days. That would have been the 70s, early 80s.
It's your fault.
Don't say that. That's
My brother
not
would
true.
never have said that to you.
The last person in God's green earth trying to stop you from being a monster, and what do? Drag him down to your level.
You didn't make him do that, though. He did that all by himself. Wow. You could have woken him up 2 seconds earlier, you jerk.
Okay.
Take those clothes off.
Deal's the deal. Where we headed?
I was about to say this all took way too long.
What? That's impossible.
What'd he say? I'm so sick and tired of these half sentences.
What'd he say?
Don't you have super hearing? Please don't tell me Homelander's his son. I feel like it is. They used his DNA, didn't they? I feel like that's what we heard, is that Homelander is Soldier Boy's son, and that's why he won't kill him. Yeah, you need to cry, Billy. Please. Please cry. Maybe you'll be a little less toxic.
Okay, it turns your brain into fucking Swiss cheese, so please be honest with me and tell me, how many doses have you taken?
Doesn't even know.
You need to tell Huey.
He won't.
Yeah, I will.
He won't. Let him go. They both made this choice, and maybe even told you it was experimental.
Everything all right?
No, not okay at all.
We've got to swing by the office and get some more. I'm gonna finish this fucking job.
You're a terrible person, Billy. You really are the worst. All of that and you learn nothing. But I knew it. One good guilt trip's not enough for you. You literally have to have spent at least a good 6 months in that nightmare.
I'm gonna save Huey.
Why? Like,
Even if he
honestly,
doesn't
this
want
is
me
no
to.
different than a real drug. You take risks when you take real drugs too. Like, you were meant to be a superhero, Kumiko. I hope it doesn't kill her or nothing. Maybe she'll be able to talk again. I know that they're not related, but maybe? Maybe don't hold her hand. Maybe don't hold her hand. Oh, she's healing up. Oh, smooth as silk. Hey, now you can be a tummy model. I was really worried about that, honestly.
I get called into Vogelbaum's lab for an experiment. Some shit about genetics. I still remember the penthouse I used.
He's your daddy.
I'd have let you take the spotlight. What father wouldn't want that for his son?
Oh, God, everyone needs to die. Oh, come on, you're happy. You always wanted a pappy, didn't you? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Oh, this is horrible. You guys, this is so horrible. One Soldier Boy was bad, his progeny being just as much of a dick. Maybe this is hereditary. Wow. Oh my gosh. So much to unpack with this episode, you guys, but I want to keep this review from being forever long. But wow, so much. Let's start with the things that are quick and easy. A-Train not dead. Actually, it's not even quick and easy. It's kind of messed up, but it's quick and easy in that he didn't die. I was saying, I mean, if he did die, okay. Like, I feel like he kind of had a complete-ish arc if he had, but in the same light, there's kind of, I feel like a redemption arc potentially for him to tell. Now, I know it looked like he went right back to his old ways when he was in the hospital with Ashley, but really, what else is he going to say at that point? He's processing A, that he's still alive, and B, what has happened to him. But this is a very interesting conundrum with him getting the heart of, what was his name? Blue Hawk? This man is evil. Okay, Blue Hawk was evil. Evil. Just a hateful, spiteful little man. This man was responsible for causing his brother permanent damage for the rest of his life. I mean, there's a small chance maybe that V would fix it, but we won't go there. And he's just kind of all the things that you don't want in life, the things that you don't want to be or feel or see. And to find out that this person that A-Train quite literally killed is now still living on in your chest, like literally giving you life, is the symbolism behind that is very interesting. Now, on the one hand, I feel like that's your worst nightmare, right? That's like if, someone put the heart of a KKK member into me, I think I would be feeling some type of way, because here's the thing. Real talk is in like real world stuff. It's been proven that tissues actually hold memory. Like every tissue in your body holds memory. It's not just your brain, but pieces of who a person is held in every single cell. It's in all of like our DNA is in every cell, from our fingernails to our brains to our internal organs. So doing a transfer like that, there's still an element of who Blue Hawk was in that heart. And there are some people out there, whether or not this is true or not, but some people have claimed that they've had memories or dreams about the person whose heart that was transplanted into them. They've even made movies around people who said, no, I swear to God, I've had memories this person had, etc. But I'm not saying that that's even impossible, because again, if someone's DNA is imprinted into every single cell, we have no idea what that means when it connects into another body and interacts with other cells. But not that I'm saying A-Train is going to turn around and be a horrific racist now. However, I just think that it's just to have that in your heart, literally be your heart, is just crazy. Like, I completely understand how A-Train is probably going to feel very disgusted about this and how it's going to make his skin crawl. And I don't even know how he's going to spin this at all, if he can spin it to his brother. Like, yeah, I'm still here because that guy is here. Like, I guess if he tells his brother the truth and that he didn't really have a choice in the matter. And I mean, how else is he going to get a heart, right? Like, A-Train absolutely needed a heart transplant. The only way he could get a heart that was a soup heart that already had V in it was for a superhero to die, a healthy, young superhero to die. And again, unless you're murdering them, which you're not supposed to do, there's really no way to get them. And like in this case, as sick as it is, they spun it so that the death is covered up, which, I mean, let's face it, I don't think much people are going to miss Blue Hawk, but still. And he gets to live on and do what he used to do, which was run. So it's like the other side of this is that, yes, it sucks to have this hateful, terrible parasite's heart in your body, but the idea that A-Train, a black man who clearly Blue Hawk hated to his core, is now helping, that his heart is helping a black man to live on and potentially thrive and succeed, there is a certain like element of comeuppance in that. There's a certain level of divine retribution in that, right? That's kind of the ultimate screw you. So that part is kind of where I said it's a little bit of a conundrum. So we'll have to see how A-Train deals with this. I mean, I don't think we're going to see much more of it this season because we're almost done. But, you know, if we do go into the next season, I feel like we might see him have a bit of an internal struggle over this. But I'm hoping that he really does take this second chance for what it is. It's a clean heart, V-free. Like, he has the chance to really be a different person now and act a little bit different. Like, obviously, I think he's still going to be Vought's pet to some degree because he kind of needs them. But hopefully he'll be on board with trying to be better now that he's been given a new chance with a new heart and really a new life if he chooses to have that. Now on to the situation with Kumiko. I completely understand her decision about wanting to become a soup again. It might seem like really strange after everything that she said for the first 2 seasons, but I think she put it eloquently in her letter where she's like, you know, the first time it happened to me, it was against my will. I didn't choose this, so I kind of hated it. And I blamed my problems on my powers, but I realize now that that wasn't the case. Kumiko's issues around her trauma, around her relationship with her brother, around some of the other things she was dealing with, they had nothing to do with the V in her veins. It was all about her reaction to situations. And I knew that after what happened in the last episode with her almost dying again, her being helpless watching Frenchie get hurt. And so I knew she'd want to go back to it. It's one of those things, right? You don't know what you got till it's gone. And she very much recognized, okay, no, actually being a soup is kind of my thing now. I've kind of learned to live with that and I feel more comfortable with that. It's very clear and it was very beautiful to see that there's love there between the two of them. They really do care about each other and she doesn't want to lose anybody else. She lost her brother already. Frenchie's kind of like the next in line for being like family for her. And obviously I'm not thinking like in a brother-like way, but you know what I mean. That was pretty open and shut. I'm glad that she was able to get her hands on V. We'll see if she gets the exact same powers again. Maybe she'll get a little something extra because I got to think that OGV's been, I feel like it's been experimented on and probably even improved since the first time she took it. So we'll see what happens when she finally comes into whatever her powers are. And it still has me thinking about Nadia's daughter too, because remember last time we saw her, she was getting a V injection as well. Dovetailing into Nadia, we saw that she was there at Homelander's crazy rant where he was trying to pretend that everything was chill. And I thought it was very interesting. Like she's very much like Edgar, right? You can see there's very much the Edgar in her telling Homelander to get it together. He was chaotic. He was a mess. And then I don't know what, oh no, she gave him an address. I'm trying to think of what, was he looking, is that probably for where Soldier Boy's staying maybe? Because I realize now that the paper at the end of the episode was the paper she gave him, but I'm not sure what that address is for. Oh, it's probably where Ryan is. Oh, that cow. I hate her. She probably gave our Brian's location. That's probably what it is. Her saying that she needs Homelander to help her one last time. The only thing I can think of is maybe she needs more V. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else she would need from him at this point. But I mean, Nadia's doing what she can. She's hustling. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm very ambivalent on her character because on the one hand, what she's doing is kind of shady. But on the other hand, you know, she's doing what she's got to do in this very messed up world. Going into also Homelander doing weird things to people. Maeve, we got a very small scene with Maeve. She pretty much has been a footnote this whole season. I'm wondering if the actress was doing something else at the time of filming because I think this is like combined she's maybe had about 20 minutes of screen time this season. Turns out Homelander is keeping her, of course, in the tower and he let her know that the only reason he's not killed her already is because he wants to harvest her eggs so that he can make his own weird super army of babies. That was just so violating in so many ways. As I said, with all that's going on in the US right now around legal rights of women over their bodies being constantly challenged, to hear that is very triggering. I think just the idea that this man wants to take her eggs from her without her consent to use for creating children that are biologically hers, but she has no choice in. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just, the show always talks about the most damaging and twisted subjects, honestly, but I feel really bad for her. And I do hope that she's able to either get out, do something to ensure that that never happens. It's tragic for her. I do hope someone finds her. I know that at least Starlight is still looking for her, so hopefully Homelander will be just too distracted with his new daddy issues to be all up on Maeve right now. And then finally, we have the Billy situation. This is kind of our Billy episode as far as backstory and diving a little deeper into his psychology, one could say. But we actually got to see more of just how horrible it was, but also how much, unfortunately, Billy took on a lot of that without even realizing it. And this happens, right? This is just a sad reality of people who grow up in abusive situations. There's typically two outcomes, and one is either that they repeat the cycle or they finally break the cycle. And this one is very hard to do. Because in order for you to do this, you have to recognize your own trauma, your own hurt. You have to acknowledge it. And you also have to forgive what happened to you. And I say forgive not in the sense of saying it's okay, but in the sense of letting go of all the anger, hurt, and turmoil that it brought you, because that's the only way you can move forward. And this part is hard. Like the forgiving part is where a lot of people get stuck. And that's usually why they fall into the repetitive category. And the sad part is that Billy really just kept saying all the time, I'm not him, I'm not him, I'm not like him, I'm nothing like him. But every time he had a violent outburst, it was very clear to me that unfortunately his father had left an imprint on him and that he was transferring. It's both a matter of him mimicking, but also him transferring all that trauma, that anger, and that hurt that he's still carrying around onto whatever his problems are. Like right now, the soups are a great way for him to channel all that anger, all that hate. Because even when he had that situation with Maeve before he slept with her and he said, like, all of you soups are rotten to the core, you all have to go, you're all disgusting. Like, no, they're not. Starlight's not like that. What do you mean? Like, there's a lot of soups who are probably out there minding their business, but you using this big broad brush is you just needing somewhere to channel all this hatred, and you basically created your father in all of these soups, and it's just not the truth. But he's never going to be able to make that dissociation fully until he accepts it. And even though he was in that horrible loop, reliving his trauma, we see that he still doesn't get it. Like, you can see that he sees the parallels. Like, that part, I think they made clear that Billy does now see the parallels between his father's behavior and his. He's still in denial about it, though. You can see still, like you saw, he keeps shaking his head no, because he doesn't want to accept that he's allowed himself to repeat that pattern. What made me sad was that at the end of it all, when he has this opportunity to let Huey go and tell him, look, this V is killing you, killing us. But he again, like, I think watching that scene, which I don't think he was actually there for, where his brother, at the end of that whole horrific nightmare where his brother takes his own life, you see that Billy, I feel like he just keeps begging and saying no, and he feels that guilt and hearing, that was his inner voice saying that it's his fault, because I don't think Lenny thought that at all in his final moments. But now I think that selfishness over, I lost my little brother, and now it's like, if I tell Huey that this is killing him, he's gonna leave and I'm gonna lose another little brother. And it's just, I knew it would be that way because that's Billy. Billy is still obsessed with taking Homelander down, but also I think that his choice not to tell Huey was also because he selfishly doesn't want to lose Huey. Huey's the only person who stuck by him through all of his assholery in the last couple of seasons. So yeah, it's complicated, it's messy, it's sad. I really do wish that Billy had learned some more from it, but I also didn't expect that to happen. That part was sad, but I think it was kind of good to see more insight into how Billy's mind works. The last thing I got to touch on, because I almost forgot about it, oh my God, this is so long already, but we got to touch on Black Noir because we have not heard anything about this guy for 2 seasons, and now we finally have some insight into his side of the story. And the way they chose to show it to us was so creative. And at first I was like, why are they using cartoons? This makes no sense. Like, what is happening? But then it hits me as they show what happened from his perspective and how they played it out using the cartoons, which was really no less graphic than if they just recreated it. But anyway, it kind of makes sense in that when we see that he literally had his brain bashed in and parts of it gone from what Homelander did. Like, he's not okay. Like, there's a good chunk of him that's literally not there anymore. And the stuttering and the one stuttering person, that's probably the way that Black Noir speaks now, if he speaks at all, because of the brain damage, right? And so that just, and also that explains the hallucinations. It explains him using this way of kind of framing the trauma that happened to him in a way that he's able to emotionally handle even after all this time. I just think it was great to get some insight into who he really is, because again, he never spoke. He said nothing in season 1 and 2, just blindly followed anything that Homelander said without question. And now to see him actually get a moment to hear about like what happened to him from his perspective, the fact that it was indeed his idea, but it was really Edgar's idea. So I'm glad at least Soldier Boy recognizes that Noir did not really have the oomph, shall we say, to come up with something like that on his own. We saw just how horrible Soldier Boy was, very much like Homelander. Like, it's crazy how much father is like son here. I think the part that stuck with me is when the representative character said, they don't know you. Like, they don't know that you're a sensitive and sweet person. Like, you're actually someone who feels a lot. Nobody knows that about you. We're the only ones who really know the real you. And that's pretty much it. And like I said, we got a little inkling of that last season when he started crying and he found out like the truth about all of the lies behind Vought. But yeah, it was interesting to see that. I mean, I feel like that might be all we get. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose Noir. The fact that he's convincing himself to face Soldier Boy, I mean, maybe that's the best thing for him, because it seems a lot like Noir's just been suffering all this time. Like, suffering, scarred, hurt, and alone for the last 30 odd years. Like, that's a horrible way to live. So, which brings us, of course, to that last scene. Of course, Homelander is Soldier Boy's son. Of course, I should have seen this twist coming from the get-go, but the timing, you know, we never really heard when Homelander was born, so I had no idea what the timeline on that would be. But it makes perfect sense, right? Of course they would try to split off their most successful specimen of that time, which was Soldier Boy, to create the next level that's going to be better. Here we now have 3 generations of kids that have been created somewhat unwillingly, and the only one that's not a complete piece of crap is Ryan. But I know now that, you know, Soldier Boy has no reason to kill Homelander anymore. I do wonder if Homelander's really going to want to have a relationship with him. That's my only wild card in this situation. Because on the one hand, Homelander is such a narcissist that him having anybody take any kind of light from him is not gonna work. But also I'm thinking vice versa. Soldier Boy is a full-on narcissist as well. All the stuff that he's saying about, oh, I would have let you take the spotlight if I'd known you were my son. You're both narcissists. Soldier Boy is only saying all this because I know in the back of his mind, he's fully expecting Homelander to step down and let him be the center of attention again. And we know Homelander's not going to be down for that. So I don't think it's going to last, but I do think, unfortunately, we are going to have probably a ceasefire between the two of them while they pretend to be father and son for a while. And then, unfortunately, they're going to suck Ryan into their psychotic situation now that Homelander has that address. I know he's going to want to try to bring Ryan online now. It's so messy. There's so many things, so many violations happening. I have no idea where our team's going to go from here, because if Billy is already starting to, you know, bleed from the brain over this situation, he can't keep using Temp V. So I don't know where this is going to go, guys. This is definitely building up to an interesting finale. But anyways, I talked a lot more. I said it's going to be short, but honestly, there are so many deep things to deal with in this episode. I feel like I couldn't skip over them. Hopefully you guys stuck around to the end. If you did, thank you so much. And I'd appreciate it if you thumbs up this video for me, and we will see you in the next video.